Conservative professor reaches a multi-million-dollar settlement with a community college in California after a free speech lawsuit. Community college looked around and went, man, we got nothing. We got to settle. Let's get into it. Here we go. Here's a quick video of the professor talking.
There are some who recognize what's going on, and quite a few have reached out to me, my former students, and said, this is wrong. We can't believe they're doing this to you. Tell us if we can help in any way. I had one who said, tell me if I can help. And I said, well, you can speak to the board when they have the hearing. And he said, oh no, I can't do that. I said, why not? He said, because they'll come after me next. He said, I'm a single guy taking care of my grandma. I can't have them come after me. And he's a great Hispanic student I've had for years. He's taken a couple of my classes, and really good guy, knows me well, but he's afraid. And I worry about the few students who do know what's going on. And some of them, they're afraid of this new change. It's very scary what's happening on the campuses. The students are afraid. But there's other students who are more bold. I had a meeting just yesterday. A student invited me to have coffee at Starbucks. And so we sat and chatted for a while. And he said, all right, professor. And he pulls out this folder of all these emails from professors he's had saying horrible things to him. And he said, what do I do with this? I'm fed up with this, and I'm ready to do legal action, or what should I do? And I said, oh my gosh, so some of them are ready to take action and looking to push back. Others are afraid. And I think most are probably just generally apathetic and don't really understand how bad it's getting.
Generally apathetic and don't understand how bad it's getting. Man, that's probably a pretty accurate description for what you've got going on in colleges right now, universities, higher education. Another conversation I had recently with one of my former employees, and he's a filmmaker. And we were talking about how, you have these musical folks that you follow and artists that you enjoy listening to their music. And then they say a bunch of their political beliefs. And you're like, man, you should have just stuck with the music, because now I got to unfollow you, because now I can't listen to your music. It's terrible. And the guy that used to work for me, he was saying, yeah, and I'm having that. He's Jewish. And I'm having that on an anti-Semitism basis, because all of a sudden you've got all these artists that are just, going down the Hamas route. It's like, what are you doing? You're supporting terrorism and anti-Semitism. What are we doing here? Play the hits, shut up, don't share with us your political beliefs, unless you want us to tune out, because a lot of us are tuning out. California Community College District agreed to pay $2.4 million to a conservative professor in a recent settlement agreement after years of legal battles between the two parties. After 5 years of administrative misconduct, a decisive courtroom display exonerated me of all allegations and exposed the Kern Community College District engaged in flagrant retaliation to my questioning of partisan policies and wasteful expenditures. Matthew Garrett reacted in a statement to Fox News Digital, facing an imminent ruling in my favor and the prospect of paying millions of dollars in damages. The community college had only one viable option, and that was settlement, because they had nothing. This guy's speaking his mind, which the last I checked was legal in the United States. I mean, mostly legal, right? Mostly legal. Some of the crazy stuff going on out there it's mind-blowing on the college campuses. I saw it here in University of Washington with the whole anti-Semitism, support terrorism thing. It's like, where are you going with this? This makes no sense at all. You guys are nuts, and they're literally nuts. Garrett, previously a tenured history professor at Bakersfield College in Southern California, filed a federal lawsuit against the Kern Community College District. In the lawsuit, Garrett claimed school officials retaliated against him and a colleague for questioning if grant money was being improperly used to fund social justice initiatives on campus. Ooh, that gets a little close for comfort, doesn't it? Yeah, you know what? We're just going to do this. This is the school speaking. We're just going to do this and don't question where the money is coming from. So crazy. You can set up the most nuts justice, social justice warrior deals and, get public funding, get federal funding for these things. Conservatives? Yeah, not so much. Not so much. What was it? I think it was another story that's floating around out there right now is at UCLA, a judge just ruled that the pro-Palestinian protesters could not keep away the Jewish students, the pro-Israeli students, from campus that they are paying tuition for. Yeah, they couldn't keep them away. They couldn't block their access to school. I mean, you need a judge to say that? How is that even? It's a thing. It's a thing. Oh no, you can't come on school campus. You're Jewish. Literally, that's what they're saying. And school officials are just, going along with it because they love terrorists. Garrett also claimed that he and other faculty members of a free speech coalition on campus were targeted with false allegations after they asked questions during a campus diversity meeting in October of 2022. Everything is free speech. Everything is, pro-diversity until you come across something that might even be considered a little bit conservative. And then it's like, no, that's misinformation. It's like all the news articles that you see without any support, basic misinformation given by conservative media network, reporter, whatever. You see that time and time and time again, just without support. And you're like, they don't really need support for that because it is reality. These reporters were there, whomever was there. And you're just throwing out the fact that no support. And then the vast majority of people who just take mainstream media at face value instead of digging a little bit further. Yeah, you got the blind leading the blind. You got a bunch of sheep out there, sheeple, that are just kind of following. Oh, yeah, everything's great. The district board of trustees voted to fire him in April of 2023, alleging he'd engaged in multiple instances of immoral and unprofessional conduct, which Garrett adamantly denied. Now, after seeing the interview at the beginning of this video, did you feel like this? I mean, we don't know him, but did you feel like this guy is capable of immoral and unprofessional conduct? I mean, you never know, right? You never can tell. People do weird stuff in their personal life. This guy seemed like a straight shooter. I mean, he didn't really have any axe to grind as far as, hey, I was sending some texts to this young lady and they fired me. She was underage. And we're not going down that road. And nobody ever claimed that he was. He just literally was speaking his mind. And hey, where's the funding coming for this ridiculousness that we got going on college campus? The professor contested his suspension in court. The two parties agreed to a settlement last month to end all disputes and claims surrounding Garrett's employment after Garrett's lawyers argued his case before an administrative law judge in May. The district's pledged to deliver a $2.4 million payment to Garrett as part of the settlement agreement that was claimed by Fox News, that it was obtained by Fox News Digital. The agreement covers alleged general and emotional distress damages as well as attorney's fees. The total payment includes a one-time payment of $154,520 for back wages and medical benefits since his dismissal. How many other cases are out there where college professors who lean just a little bit right are being treated this way? Probably a ton. Here's where we back up. I was kind of surprised to hear of a conservative professor at a community college, because the instances I see here at Bellevue College and the University of Washington, my old school, even though I didn't graduate, I mean, you had a bunch of liberals on campus. You've always got liberals on campus, right? You just do. It's like, higher education, higher learning. And I think it's progressively just gotten, education has just gotten pushed further and further and further to the left. And that's not necessarily a good thing. Now you've got just nut jobs running around campus, taking over, entire buildings, and school administration is like, this is free speech. It's free speech. If as long as it's far left, it's free speech. If anybody even center or right of center says anything, oh yeah, divisive. You can't say that. That doesn't match up with what we're teaching here in school. So under the settlement, Garrett agreed to resign from his position in the district. Administrators also agreed to withdraw its reports and accusations of unprofessional conduct. The unprofessional conduct being he was speaking his mind. In a professional manner. In a conservative manner. That's the problem, right? So, and they're going to remove the accusations of unprofessional conduct from Garrett's record and seal documents related to punitive action it took against him from his personnel file. The settlement says that the agreement isn't an admission of any wrongdoing or liability by either the district or Garrett. Of course not. Of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't go there. We were wrong. Here's your really fat check. No. But they knew that their position was, they had no position. They're like, oh, shit, this is not good. Yeah. What do we got, guys? And they're talking to their attorneys. You got nothing. All right. Okay. All right, boys. We need to settle. We got to settle this bad boy because this goes to trial. Yeah. Guy gets 10 million. Not good. Let's just settle. See if he'll take 2.5. All right. Let's knock it down to 2.4. And the guy just goes, who knows what that back and forth was. Who knows? But that's usually how it goes. 2.4 for this. All right. I don't know how this professor feels about it, but take a massive hit to your professional career. Have your, you're going to have the Google machine's going to pop up a bunch of, hey, this guy has professional misconduct. You're going to have those stories out there. The school is going to, try and cover up as best they can in accordance with the settlement. But bottom line is this guy took a massive hit for speaking his mind, free speech, at a college, at a community college. Who knew, right? Yeah. You're seeing this all over all the time. And, I wish more people would stand up to the system like this because they need to. People need to know what's going on, which is you got an education system that is just wonky. And by wonky, I mean, it is not functioning in a way that, you're supposed to get kids some education so they can come out and be productive members of society. And they're just head spun from the second they step on to college. And you got a bunch of, professors running around. Terrorists are good. Love the terrorists. It's insane. The Kern Community College District is settled. This is the official statement. Kern Community College District has settled all issues with Matthew Garrett. Matthew Garrett has voluntarily resigned from his employment and all litigation on this matter has been resolved. And the Community College District believes the settlement is the best interest of the district, which because it allows them to cut their losses at 2.4 million big ones and allows us to focus on the future and continue to deliver quality higher education for students of Kern County without any further legal distractions. Yeah, well, how about those conservative students? How are they feeling? They're feeling scared. And you know what? Conservatives feel scared wherever they go. We just do. And I don't even really see myself as a hardcore, anything much further than right of center. But even in somewhere right of center or center, you're just ridiculed in today's day and age. Oh, your opinion is terrible. What are you talking about? And most of the time, you're just talking about reality, which is this professor spoke his mind. College tried to just run him through the muck. He sued them, and they had nothing. The college had nothing So 2.4 big ones. Here you go. Let's write up that check. To be clear, the dispute with Matthew Garrett was a disciplinary matter due to his disruptive actions on campus. I can't really see this guy being wildly disruptive. I just can't. That doesn't ring true. In the court system, it said it didn't ring true. And this settlement says that that doesn't ring true. And they go on to say, none of which concern freedom of speech. Well, then why did you settle? If you say that he had disruptive actions on campus, then you'd be in the right. And none of which concern freedom of speech. Wasn't it all about freedom of speech and that he won? You're not saying that. You're just basically saying we cut him a fat check. That's what you're saying. Kern Community College, whatever, unequivocally supports the right for our students and faculty to share their views and opinions on campus and elsewhere. Unless they're conservative in nature. Yeah, that's the reality, right? Oh, you're saying what? Oh, you're gonna support who? Oh, we can't have that. Yeah. Pro-Israel. Oh, no. You can't be here. Yeah. No. You can't even access this area because we've got this area on the college campus. Just, it's, pro-terrorism only. So as a district, we create an environment that provides our diverse students and communities with the opportunity to professionally engage with new ideas, with the exception of conservative ones. So if you've got, far left leaning and, more liberal views, then, they'll engage with those new ideas, whatever those might be. But I mean, as far as actually engaging in ideas that might challenge what you're already thinking and knowing, then yeah, not so much. And that is what this lawsuit came down to. Cutting a fat check because guy didn't do anything wrong. He's espousing his opinion, his views. I'm surprised he got a job. I mean, there's got to be stuff on his social media. It doesn't sound like Matthew is particularly hunkered down and not willing to take the whack of speaking out his mind. Doesn't sound like that. So, how did he get a job? That was another question in my mind. It was like, oh, wow, there's actually a conservative teaching at a community college in California. And I kind of jest, but then I also kind of don't. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, yeah. Because all the stuff I see, and I use University of Washington as an example, because you got a bunch of lunatics running around the campus there. Same thing with like Portland State. Portland State's where they took over that one building and then just destroyed it. I mean, stuff you see at UCLA campus. I mean, just a bunch of whack jobs running around. Antifa. That's who's running around. And college administrators the university presidents, we really respect our students' right to freedom of speech, but not the professors. And then if they get caught, yeah, we're going to just write a check and, mum's the word. We're just not really going to talk about it. As this is a confidential matter, we will not comment further. There you go. Let's get a little distance between us and the professor, and we'll move on, and we'll pretend this never happened because it didn't work out well on our end. And Fox News is reporting on it, and then some jackass from Seattle's reporting on it as well. So Garrett said he was grateful for the support he's received and declared the settlement a victory. I'm grateful to the many who stood by my side during the difficult time and invite them to join in our triumph. Is it really a triumph if they didn't agree, if they agreed to no wrongdoing? I guess it is. It's a win by default, right? It's a win by default. To my colleagues at Bakersfield College and nationwide, I say, keep the faith. We are winning the battle one case at a time. The statement continued. All right. Okay. Yeah. I don't see the battle being won. Especially in the collegiate level, I see the battle going wildly sideways, and with nobody to really push back on this notion that everything far left is great or just left is great. There's gotta be some push and pull, but that's just not what we're doing. And you can kind of see that by this case where the university can just hammer on this guy without any retribution. And then it gets to a point where the college is like, "Oh, yeah, we got nothing. We got nothing." I mean, we were hoping the court system would rule in our favor, but it's gone through whatever stages. And now we're down to that guy's ready to go to trial. Who knows what it was, right? Who knows how the settlement process goes, but it's usually threat of going to trial on both sides, where they realize, okay, what's on the table? What's the deal on the table? 2.4. Okay, we're going to run through XYZ in attorney's fees. Does this make sense? With no guarantee of winning. And that's what both sides are afraid of, is we're not going to win. We're going to actually owe a whole bunch more money than we already do to our attorneys, because now the court system judge is going to make us pay for their attorney's fees because we lost. So when school system, basically caves on a situation like this, it's because the guy had a strong position. They weren't willing to go to trial. If he had actually done something wrong, maybe there's a 50-50, they'd get him convicted. If he had actually done something wrong, but this whole settlement and the number that they settled at, that's not $100,000 settlement. 2.4, that's a pretty good size settlement. I've seen other settlements around, the high six figures, $1 million. I've seen settlements like that between schools and professors or teachers, that kind of thing, where they've been taken out for one reason or another. The 2.4, that's a win. That's a win right there. That's a win. What would have been furthermore of a win if the school district had to say, "We were wrong. He was right. Freedom of speech prevails. We support freedom of speech, just not against conservatives. And we're really sorry." You're never going to get that, right? You're just never going to get that, because they're going to cut a deal. Hey, we're going to give you this money, but we're going to we're going to, clear out your record, but we're also not going to state anymore. And we're not going to admit any liability of all the accusations and the muck that we drug you through. So there's that. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next episode. Love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you again. Bye for now.